Hey guys, so for your dream car activity, you're going to go online and find your dream car, whatever it may be, and you're going to look for its price. So MSRP is the manufacturer suggested retail price. That would be the price that you would record down for your dream car. And then you're going to go through the activity. So as an example, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my car. So in 2018, when I decided to move from Rhode Island to Mass, I got a new car because I knew I would be driving more, and my car at the time was very, very old. So the car that I got was the brand new 2018 Subaru Forester, and I got the limited edition, which according to online, the price is $29,395. And eventually it was a little bit more after adding in some add-ons and warranty and all of that stuff. But let's say that the sale price was $29,395. Now, before you sign paperwork to buy any car, just know that the value of your car actually depreciates by about 15% every year. So that means how much your car is worth goes down year after year by about 15%. So the first thing I want you guys to do is to complete the table below to find the value of your car after each year since you bought your car. And you're going to write down your calculations you use to complete the table. So on the first column is going to be my X. It's like an XY table. X represents the number of years since I bought my car, and Y represents the value of my car. So when I first bought my car, 0 years have passed. At the start, the value of my car is $29,395. Okay, so now let's think about after 1 year, my car loses 15% of its value. So there's a couple of ways you can calculate this. You can figure out what 15% of $29,395 is, and then subtract that from the total. Or you could think about another way and say, well, if I'm losing 15%, then that means 100% take away 15%, my car is going to retain 85% of its value. And so the value of my car after that first year is going to be 85% of $29,395. And of means to multiply. And when we multiply by a percent, we have to change it to a decimal form. So 85% of $29,395, I'm going to multiply that by 0.85. And that gives me, now this is for my car, and you're going to do it for your car of choice, $24,985.75. Okay? And now be careful here, because the next year you're going to lose another 15% of the current value. So the current value of $24,000 I got by multiplying the initial value by 0.85. I'm going to take that amount, which gave me $24,985.75, and I'm going to multiply by another 0.85 because I'm only keeping 85% of that value. So taking that answer, and you can type in $24,985.75 and multiply by another 85% in decimal form, 0.85, and that's going to give me the value of my car after the second year, 2 years after I bought it, which is about now actually. It's been about 2 years since I bought my car, and I took out a loan and I'm still trying to pay it off. Okay, now my car is worth $21,237.89. And if I take that amount and multiply by another 0.85, because next year, my third year having this car, the value of my car is going to be 85% of this current amount, right? So if I take this and I multiply by another 0.85, that's going to give me $18,000 $52.21. And I got that by taking what I had before, the initial price, multiplied it by 0.85 because I took 85% of that after the first year, another 85% after the second year, and because we're in year 3, take that and multiply by another 85%. And I write this all out because I want you to notice a pattern. Okay, in year 3, to find out the value of my car, I multiply the initial price by 0.85 3 times after 3 years. So now to find the value of my car 4 years later, I'm going to take $18,052.21 and I'm going to multiply by another 0.85, and that's going to give me $15,344.38. And this calculation, instead of writing all this out again, I'm going to shorten it because I notice a pattern. It's just always going to be the initial price times 0.85 one more time, so to the 4th power. I'm going to multiply the price by 85% 4 times because it's been 4 years and every year I take 85% of that. And so to find the value after 5 years, all it is just the initial price and then 85% of that 5 times because 5 years have passed, and we can figure out that after 5 years, so 3 years from now, the value of my car is going to be about $13,042.72. Okay, and certainly I can keep taking the value and multiplying by 0.85 and multiplying by 0.85, but once I figure out this pattern, it's super useful because now I can figure out, well, if I want to figure out how much my car is worth after 10 years, after 15 years, I know all I have to do is multiply the initial price by 0.85 10 times or 15 times, depending on how many years. So, true story, this is my car, a white 2018 Subaru Forester, still going strong. I love it. This is my 2nd year having the car, and I am still trying to pay it off. But then I can look at what is the value of my car now. I still have a lot to pay off, but the value of my car has already lost a lot of its value. Okay, so now if we want to make a sketch, let's graph X and Y and see what that graph looks like. So X represents the number of years since I bought my car. I'm going to scale by 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Years after purchase. And Y is going to represent the value of my car. And you can scale your Y value differently, but since the value of my car when I bought it is a little under 30,000, I'm just going to scale my Y axis so that it reaches up to 30,000. So I'm going to make every 4 units 10,000. So this would be 5,000. And then 15,000, 20,000 will be right here, 25, and then 30,000. So again, you scale yours to fit the value of your car, and it only needs to go up to however much your car is worth. Because you know that the value of your car only goes down, actually doesn't go up unless it's an antique. So if I were to graph this, alright, so at the beginning my car is a little below 30,000 and we're just going to round here. Okay, and then in year 1 is almost at 25,000, so right here. And then year 2, 21,000, be about here. And then year 3, 18,000-ish, so that would be right here about. And then year 4, 15,000. a little over 15,000, and then finally year 5 is, as far as my table goes, 13,000. And you can see that the value of my car slowly depreciates, so it decreases, but not at a linear rate. So it's not a line, but it's actually, if I connect the points and try to sketch out this graph, it's a curve. And I can predict that even though I haven't done the table out, that after year 6, after year 7, it's going to keep going down. It's going to eventually get closer and closer to the x-axis, which is when the value is 0, but we know that it's actually never going to reach 0. So if this graph gets bigger and longer, it's going to look like this. Approaching the x-axis, my car is going to lose value year after year, and it's going to get closer and closer to a value of 0, but it's never going to be worth nothing, because even when my car gets really old and I have to bring it to the junkyard, you can still scrap the metals and take the parts and sell that, right? So your car is always going to be worth something, but very, very little. And you can see that this is the graph of an exponential function. And because it's losing value, this is an example of an exponential decay type of problem. And so using the graph and the table, let's see if we can answer a couple of questions there. Based on a table, how long would it take for my car to lose half of its original value? So for my car, looking at the table, my car started at a value of about $30,000. And then after 4 years, it's worth half. If it's worth half its value, went down to about $15,000. So for my car, it takes 4 years for my car to lose half of its value. And now let's come up with an equation to calculate the value of my car X years after I purchased it. Now instead of listing out the table and relying on the previous number to find the next value, taking the previous amount and multiplying it by 0.85, earlier by writing out our calculation, we saw a pattern, right? The value of my car Y can be found by taking the initial value, $29,395, and we can multiply by 0.85. We can keep taking 85% of it because that's how much value it retains, and multiplying it however many times the number of years. So x years to the x power. Okay, so 0.85 times 3 times itself 3 times if it's 3 years, times itself 5 times if it's 5 years, so raising it to the x power. And this 0.85 actually was not given to us at the beginning of the problem, right? We had to actually find it by taking 100% minus 15%. And that as a decimal, 100% as a decimal is 1 minus 0.15. That gave us our 85% as a decimal. So this is the equation, either one. And with this equation, I can calculate how much its value is after X years without relying on the table. So it's super useful. So now let's use this equation and figure out if I want to trade in my car in 10 years, how much is it worth? So that when I do take it to a dealer and I said, I want to trade in my car, how much can you give me? I know that whatever price that they offer, I at least know whether I'm getting ripped off or not, right? Are they giving me a fair price for the value of my car? Because I know how much my car is worth based on this formula. So let's check. So the value of my car's Y is going to be equal to 29,395 times 0.85, so 85% of that value, 10 times, because 10 years have passed. And when you're putting this into your calculator, I want you to be careful. Remember, order of operations, you do exponents first before multiplication. So you could either type it in all at once as long as you put the parentheses in its right place, or you do 0.85, raise that to the 10th power first, and then times 29,395. So if you do it correctly, the value of my car after 10 years is $5,787.12 roughly. So after 10 years, my beloved Subaru 2018 Forester is going to be worth a little bit over $5,000. So I know that if I want to trade it in and they want to offer me, I don't know, like $1,000, then I know, well, I think my car is worth more than that, right? So I want you to do this activity for your own car, or if you currently have a car, you can do it for your current car, or you could look up the price of your dream car, whatever that may be.